Hello. So, yeah, right now what I'm showing you guys is what kind of like a fully done level is going to be after this lesson. See, like, all these mountains are a bit more shaded and it looks less just like one slob of metal, of rock, I mean. And the grasses are a bit kind of mixed. There's some dirt in there that I put in there. Yeah, it just looks more like realistic and everything. So, to show you how I did it, I'm just going to start from scratch. So I'm going to go into this, select my start from scratch, and go back as this loads. Just take, oh, I didn't click on it. Okay. There we go. So yeah, this is what it kind of looks like if you don't have anything. So it's all kind of the same stuff. I did change a few things from the last lesson, but it's just because I didn't like the current textures. They're all the same textures. If you come in and look at this guy, take that off. But anyways, yeah. So this is kind of what we left it off at last lesson. So yeah, what you want to do, the way you mix stuff in, I'm going to start in with this flats layer. The way you mix things is using the utility thing called linear interpolation, which is also called a lerp once I put it in. You can also access this as a shortcut key if you press L and then right click, or left click, and yeah, so that's how you access it. Now, how a lerp works is there are three nodes. There's an A and the B node, which is your inputs. You'll take a texture from one, and you'll take another texture, which I'll import shortly. And then you also have an alpha, which is your mask, and it shows you where you interpolate or mix the two textures in depending on how white or how black that alpha is. And this will probably make a lot more sense once I actually plug it in. So I'm just going to take that, and then I'm going to go in here and find my dirt, which I'm just still, you'll have probably whatever you use for dirt, but I have my own little thing that I'm using, which I need to kind of search around to get because I forget the actual location of it. So yeah, just need to no, not this one. This one. Okay. This guy. So I'm gonna just copy this dirt, quit out of that, and then go into here, go T-click, get a new texture sample, and then just Control V it into there. And I have a little dirt sample now, so I put that in the B. And I'm going to get another terrain coordinate, so Control W, just copy it and put it in. Nice little slot there. Now for the alpha, we refer normally to the alphas as masks, so you'll have to normally make your own mask for each individual thing. And they mostly vary depending on what you want. I've made one in when I had a trial of paint of Photoshop, and that's the only way I know actually to make them is through Photoshop. You can also, if worse comes to worse, you can make some in Paint and just kind of like take the little like spray can and spray it around. It's not the best, but you know, get something that works for you. But as you can see, they're this white and black kind of spaces out, clouds, and you'll notice that they are seamless. Like if that comes down, it'll actually match up. And so on this side too. And you want something that's seamless, because then when it repeats throughout your texture, it'll look really good. So I'm going to take this, put it in here, go Control T, just T and click, not Control T. And then alpha, you plug it in. No, I normally just connect this guy to right here, and then it's the same train coordinates, and then it'll space it out the same way. Then you connect your lerp to your layer, and when we click apply changes, and it saves and applies, it should look pretty cool. Okay, so as we can see, if this computer won't lag as much, I'm thinking I'm right clicking, just as I can get this computer to look. So yeah, right here, as you can see, it's mixed. This is like the dirt splotches right there. It's grass, dirt, and it all just makes it look a lot better. Like you can zoom out on this, and you can't, well, you can't tell, but it's pretty good. Like, you can't really tell that it's textured too well, and especially if you're actually going to be in the level playing it, it's really pretty hard to see any kind of mixtures. It all just kind of seems like it's kind of normal grass. Now, so yeah, I did for the next one, the dirt or the edges layer. I kind of just did the same thing, so I just kind of copied made a copy of the lerp, plug the A into there, and plug the alpha into that, and my dirt into that. And so it does kind of the same thing. Just makes it a little bit more blended. I won't say that because there's not much point. You know what it looks like. So though for the stones, you can't really just blend them in like that. You can. It just looks kind of awkward. So I've taken a little other step to it. What I've done is I went back into our Terra Sculptor, and doing this, we're going to make a mask out of the actual, not just generator, the weight maps. Once this thing comes up, and we'll record it. Oh, it's freezing on me. Okay. Okay, anyways, here it goes. But before we actually make this, because depending on what size you made it, you might have to resample it. And when I said size is the thing that changes it, it's actually resample. Size actually just gives you more ground or crops it. Resample will actually stretch, which is what you more want. So if you have something that's not the size of either like 256, 512, 1024, like all those powers of 2, which you most likely won't, because I don't think any of the UDK train sizes are like that. You'll have to resample this so that when you take it in as a mask picture kind of format, the UDK will actually accept it. So what I did is 512. You can do probably 1024 if you want, but I don't think it makes much of a difference. And I don't know, I just do Beth because it's cool. And then yeah, so you click OK, expands out, it's all good. Now you go into here, your weight map generator, you're gonna go to slope, and you want both of these on 0, and then you slide it out. So then you get this nice little cool fallout thing where at 0 it's white and then it's darker. And what this will do is it'll kind of blend in your rocks, kind of where you'd expect them to blend. So what you want to do though is save this thing as a Windows bitmap, 8-bit grayscale thing. I already saved it, so wherever you save it, it's good. Just after you get to that, you just click save, save it where you want it. Of course, I've already done this, so I'm going to just quit all that out and open back up UDK and go to tutorials, and you see I saved it right here. So I'm going to select that. So yeah, once you import it, you can just select it. This thing would just minimize. Then you open it. Then you go texture. Okay. I also have to get another texture for this, which I will get in a second. Okay, just gonna make another lerp function. Just put it there, and then I'm just gonna go get my other stone texture, which is actually right beside this one, so I'll just go find this one, and then I'll be all good. It should be right beside this one. I thought it was right beside this one at least. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's this one. It's just the specular version, but it looks just like lighter, so it's all good. I like the look of it, so just took it. T-click. There we go. Make another one of these. And you're actually going to have one for your texture sample, so might as well make one beforehand while you're at it. Connect this guy up here. Should be all good. And there. Connect that there. Connect that there. You can't tell much difference between these two. Is it the same? They're not the same. Oh, it's this one that I used, I think. Yeah, okay, they look too similar. They don't look that great. If you want them to be kind of different, but you know, they look kind of the same, like same type of general idea. So that's what I'm doing there. Then you take that. Alpha. Now for this terrain coordinate, you're gonna have to change this. You want this coordinate to be the size of your map. So if your map is 255 by 255, like your landscape aspects, if it's 255 by 255, this is going to have to be 255 by 255, because it'll scale it up to be the exact same size as your map. So when you have this, it'll look normal and stuff. It's all good. So mine, which is 379, I'm going to type in 379. That thing just goes crazy, but it's all good. You can plug your lerp into there. And you might need to rotate this, but I'm not sure. So we'll just check. See what it looks like. Of course, it takes forever, but it's worth the wait. Okay, there we go. So, let's see if this is actually what it was supposed to be. Looks kind of good. I think that's it. Don't see any blaring. I think that's it. Yeah, so what this kind of did is it made all these like low areas wider. It made all the steeper creeps, steeper areas. Whereas it would actually be the opposite. No, it's the sharper areas lighter, and then the lower area is darker, which is pretty good. So it kind of mixes them in. Just kind of makes it bit better as rock face, you know, just in general. Gonna one second. But I'm still not entirely happy with that, because you still the same thing right there, right? So what I'm gonna do is plug this out. Then you're gonna take a multiply function, which is m and click, and then you're gonna get a math subtract function. And what this is going to do is it's going to make everything more sharp, so that it will look just a little bit more. You can define, like, you'll be able to see the different textures a little bit easier. So right now it's not too evident. So yeah, plug this into the a of the multiply, and then plug the multiply into the a of the subtract. And then, as well, you are going to need utility, and you're going to need a clamp or a constant clamp. Clamp and constant clamp are the same thing, except constant clamp doesn't have sections for variables to put in it. It's just when you click on it, there's a min and a max. And what the min and the max do is anything that's below your min will be bumped up to the value of the min. Anything higher than your max will be bumped down to the value of your max. So you won't, in this case, you won't have anything that is lower than 0 or higher than 1. And that's what that is. Now you're also going to need some constants, so you just 1 and click. Once it saves, just auto saves. Okay. Now you're going to multiply it. I multiply it by 5, and then you will minus it by 4. And that's going to create a pretty good contrast. Like if you go preview node and mesh for the constant clamp, that happens. That must mean I'm minusing too much. I'm just going to check. Multiply, preview node and mesh. Oh no, yeah, it's just because of the scaling that you don't see anything. It should be fine when you actually look at it. Yeah, so yeah, it's because it's super stretched, you might not see it properly. So I'm just gonna actually save it and see what it looks like on the actual map first, because you won't be able to tell really beforehand. Okay. See if that did anything. No, I think that made it worse. Huh. Okay. Going to kind of just look at my previous one and see what that was. Just, it's always good to make sure you check and see if you're doing everything correctly. So, just open this guy and see what's coded here. Oh, I didn't actually do anything. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave it as that. It is useful though to know this. Like, for some things you will want to amplify certain parts, like just make it more sharp of contrast. Like, for example, down here, if you wanted this to be just white or black, like a pretty sharp contrast, you'd use similar technique as up here. Yeah, so for this I'm just going to put it back. So yeah, sorry about leading you astray a little bit there, but you learn your mistakes. It's all good. Yeah. So for future reference, that's just another tool for trying to figure out if you want more contrast in a certain object. It's really useful. To multiply and then you subtract. So yeah, maybe it's just the textures that aren't very defined. So what's it says again? That's pretty good. What I'm just gonna do is take in a divide function, which is just d and click, and I'm just gonna make this one darker. Let's make it a bit more contrast. Just looks a bit better, I think, if you do that. So again, you just go 1 and click for your constant, and divide by 2. Okay, so and now it's a bit darker, so it's a bit more compared where this dark spotting is. And you can do this either way. You could do the whites in the. That's what I had in the original ones. The white is the more apparent side, but you can change that if you want. It's not really important for me to change it. You guys know what it is. Yeah, so that's how you handle with the train landscape mode. It's pretty cool. Hope you've gained the tools to know how to fool around. Like, a lot of the stuff is just kind of fooling around with it, and yeah, it's kind of just learning to know what looks good. You got the masks. Lerp's super useful. On a lot of your textures, you probably want to use a lerp because they work really well. But if you guys, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, just if you have any questions, just comment. And yeah, if you like these videos, find them useful, just like it. Thanks. I'll see you guys later then.